Hello, Otafest listeners, and welcome to the Winter 2021, technically, anime podcast preview episode. Woo! I'm here
Woo!
with Nancy and Angelo.
Hi,
What a
Hello.
Angelo.
surprise!
Oh my.
You've never met them before, but here they are.
Never.
I think they've met me. I think it's you they haven't met.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so we watched the first episode of 5 different series that aired this winter. Or sorry, this fall.
It was specifically the 5 anime we previewed last time.
Mm-hmm. So we watched the first episodes of Hypnosis Mike, Jujutsu Kaisen, Tonikawa, Kamisama ni Natahi, and Iwa Kakeru, which is the climbing anime. I guess we'll go through them real quick, just as a quick refresh. I know Angelo is actually following a couple of them. We definitely did a few episodes of them just to kind of get a taste. Let's start off with Hypnosis Mike. We'll go through the order that we watched them all together, so it was nice.
Hypnosis Mike, it was the flashiest garbage I've ever seen.
It was so well animated. Oh my goodness. Did you see those moves?
It was fairly well done.
Those moves were
it
insane.
It definitely appealed to the sort of BL crowd, which is totally
That's the
fine.
crazy. Nothing that I've seen specifically makes it BL. It's just like for Fujoshis to fantasize.
Yeah,
it's Fujoshi
except
bait.
for like there's that one
Fujoshi
guy
bait.
who was literally afraid of girls.
It's just
And I was-
Fujoshi bait.
Yeah, sure. The music, I don't mind like sort of Asian rap in general. Like I sort of like Korean hip hop and rap and some Japanese rap and stuff like that. I found it's a tough genre to mix, and I pointed this out that my general feelings was like, while this sort of the art style and the character tropes that they kind of embody will appeal to your Fujoshi fan base, I don't think rap and that fan base mix that often as a niche, and I don't see how well received it might be. Like you have to be
I've
really
heard
into
that
the
it's a
character.
dumpster
I also
fire.
have a feeling that it's probably a game already before that, right? Or something.
A multimedia franchise specifically.
Ooh.
Sure.
Okay, so I argue that it doesn't matter what the genre is. If you love the characters enough, you'll probably stick around. Personally, I'm like Jay. I'm not super into rap, like hardcore rap. I like hip hop. I like R&B. Rap is kind of a little much for me personally. So I found like the music side of it a lot harder to get into. Like when we watched Carol and Tuesday, I loved it because the animation was great, the characters were relatable, it was a well written story,
Sure.
and I liked the music. That was just like, but I don't know how much it really affects my appreciation for the fact that they goddamn that animation. It was just so impressive. It was so flashy
Yeah.
and like just like a visual eye candy.
Like I might be the uncultured swine, but I'm going to say that if you really like music anime, it's still not really a great music anime. I felt sort of lost after the first episode. They introduced a lot of characters, a lot of
That's
sort of mini
true.
plots, and I don't really care. Like, there's no reason for me to care right off the bat. You don't really develop any information or relationship to the characters themselves. So it was sort of tough. Like the key part of like good music anime to me, not only is there good music, obviously, but there is sort of a emotional connection to the performing like protags essentially. And I couldn't build it because there was just too many new boy toys walking around, and then like whipping microphones from places that I don't know about.
You are right. There were a lot of new characters, like right off the bat, first
Yeah.
episode. You meet like
I think
all
we met
of
like
them.
12 of them. I think we met like the entire cast.
This anime suffers from an issue that I call first epitis, where it is just the first episode is literally meaningless. If you go into the
Right.
first episode expecting to like be introduced to the world or the characters or the story or the plot or anything, no, it's meaningless. There's nothing tangible there. The best that they did was they just threw what was it, 15 different boys at us and Could you be expected to remember the names of any of them at the end of the episode? Fuck no. There wasn't enough time to even introduce them properly. Like they put them in a scenario that showed like what they are. Like there's some military guy, and I don't know why he was with the two other people, but and
Hmm.
there was
Hmm.
some guy running like a candy shop or something. I don't even remember what it was anymore, but he was pink and
No,
such.
this was only
And
like a
and
handful
there
of
was
days
one
ago,
group that
and I
had
already
three different
forgotten.
people with heterochromia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know anything about what happened.
No.
There's definitely a heavy-handed first character-itis in this, where
Yeah.
you can tell who a main character is based on how colorfully and flashy
Yeah.
they look.
But which one of the 15 was the main
There's the
character?
weird undertone of the of like the governing women who are secretly like they're both government and also secretly controlling the
Like the government is just idol producers.
Yeah,
sort
basically.
of, but they're actually still government, which is weird. But it's only like that in that one area because the premise is they took away weapons, so men can only fight with microphones. But then I would be like, I'm not from your
Why
district.
wouldn't they
I
just
came here to
sharpen the
shoot people.
microphone and stab someone with it?
Ooh, also
You don't even need to do that. You could bop someone.
I need to
It's not
throw a
supposed
Ah,
little
to
bit of
hard.
praise out there though that the subbers
No.
actually tried to make everything rhyme.
oh, they did. The
That was
Yeah.
subgroup
quite
that they
impressive.
really tried.
But they also like I'm gonna say that in some ways they sort of cheat because they definitely throw a lot of English in there too,
Mhm.
to make it work. I guess it's tough. Um, Either way, it's not an anime that I would get back into. I don't even know if I could recommend it, not because it's not aimed at me, but because in terms of a music anime, it's a mess.
If you tried it and dropped it after the first episode, I don't blame you, but you need the second episode to get anything out of it, and I'm
Yeah.
not willing to do that.
I'm not sure if I would be able to go all the way up to a 5-episode try, but maybe a 3-episode try just to see where this is
Just for the
actually
animation.
going. Well,
You're
I want to know
secretly a
where this is
Fujoshi.
actually supposed to go. Like, is this supposed to be
Uh huh.
does it eventually develop into like a BL story? Does this just is this just supposed to be super wholesome like we're
No,
all
I think there's
besties?
just
What's up with the government thing?
Do you remember like Oran High School?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's just that kind of BL where it's always implied that the boys would have a relationship with each other, but they don't have to explicitly be in a relationship
Fujo
with each
bait.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fujo
it's
bait.
it's bait. It's
I don't
bait.
know if this one is horribly baity though. Oh, the only one that was really baity
It's
was
baity.
probably the one that was like terrified of women and the other guys had to like try and comfort him.
No, it's bait. It's bait
Oh.
AF.
I don't know.
What if that's foreshadowing for like abusive government situations, and that's why he's afraid of women?
Entirely possible. And that's
Could
kind
be.
of what
What if
I'm
it got like
hoping
that
is
dark and deep?
deeper.
Or maybe
I
he's just
just
a
don't. You're not.
misogynist.
All I can tell you is you're probably not gonna find out in that first 3 episodes.
I'm just saying, I
Don't
might.
think it has the
If I
depth
had
to
literally
explore.
nothing else to watch, I might give it that extra try.
But fortunately, we did have something else to watch,
So we did,
like
yes.
Jujutsu Kaisen,
I want to
Okay.
hear what you
which
guys
was
thought
a
about
much
this.
better show.
Jay, what did you think of Jujutsu Kaisen?
I already said it was a much better show.
Yes, but
There's
why?
not much else to say about it.
Why though?
Because it's interesting and it develops a sort of plot, even though it's got some sort of generic shonen feels to it, where it's like this is the protag boy, he is the super strong, he is
Yes.
the good at sports, but at the same time his grandpa dead, so therefore he has motivation, and then for he saves the world. It's the shonen formula. It's Goku and his grandpa who dies, and then he goes on to sue. It's a formula, but at
It's
least
a
the world is
successful
kind of
formula.
cool. It's got a supernatural horror feel to it. I like horror genres in general. This one is a little bit on the light side for me. Like it's definitely got a lot. It's less Jigoku Shoujo like Hellgirl, and a little bit more. Uh, is it like Tokyo Ghoul sort of, or like it's
Tokyo
got.
Ghoul wasn't really slapstick at all.
I wouldn't say
Like
this one was
Jujutsu
slapstick. I
Kaisen
never
has
said it was
slapstick
slapstick.
moments, but beyond that, like it for the most part takes
Sure,
itself seriously.
but I'm just saying it's got like it's got that more like it's not heavy into the horror, and
Yeah,
it's
and
not
I'm okay
heavy
with
into
that.
that theme.
I'm okay
So
with that. I like
I enjoyed
lighter
it.
horror.
I
Lighter
feel like Jay's
supernatural.
wrong, but that's because I've watched all the episodes of it so far.
Oh,
That's fun.
Like
that's good.
I can't color my expectations of Jujutsu Kaisen based on the first episode because it's my favorite anime this season so far. Like it's thoroughly good. The
Okay,
character
so
design, the animation, the holy shit, the
the
ending
character
is
design
so
is
fucking
literally
catchy.
the kid from Fairy Tale.
Fuck no.
Yeah, and the whole time we were watching it, I was like, "This is." I made comparisons to Naruto the whole time.
Well, yeah, you did actually.
I did
But
because
like the
and it
main
was not hard to
character,
do.
if
It
you
was not
judge
hard to do.
everything based on the main character, you're gonna have a bad time. Like it,
Sure, but
unlike Hypnosis Mike that
there's
throws
not much else to do.
15 different main characters at you within the span of 20 minutes. This anime actually takes its time to introduce characters and tell you who they are, really,
Oh my god, like a
before
regular story.
trying to just throw the whole cast at you. Because if
Hmm.
you did, you'd be like, wait a minute, there's a fucking sentient panda and a dude who only speaks in like snack food names? What?
What?
Yes, there is.
What?
I mean, sure.
Okay, now I'm
Yes.
gonna watch some more of it.
But this shit is thoroughly good.
It's
I would
still it's
definitely watch
still
more.
it still lands in the shonen tropes anime
Oh, it
range,
absolutely
which
is.
is
It
like
is a shonen anime.
yeah, like
if
there's
you
nothing
like
wrong with
that,
it. It's
that's
just
good.
got it's just got a little different feel because of the setting is again more of that horror and supernatural aspect, which is kind of nice. Um,
It's
but
kind
yeah,
of like the
like I
refined,
would
boiled
probably
down
continue.
shonen formula in the same way that
Hmm.
Demon Slayer gave us the same thing. It is
Sure,
unapologetically shonen, but
sure.
shit is good.
I mean, I would, yeah. The general gist I think is like, unlike the first anime, we'd probably recommend keep on going if
Oh, absolutely.
people
I mean, if you didn't
are
get
into
hooked
that
with the
kind of
first
genre.
episode, keep going.
You don't
But
want it. No, but I'd be like, the first episode was still a good episode,
yeah,
even if it doesn't necessarily fly that close to expectations from the first episode. Like, it's still a good show. You can see where it has potential.
It has just the right amount of suspense at the
Yeah.
end of the first episode.
Tonikaku Kawaii.
Tony Kawa.
Remind me which one this one was again?
This one was the one with NASA, except his name is spelled as Soaring Sky, or no, Starry Sky. They only said
Starry
that 8
Sky.
different times within the span of 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
super annoying.
Hoshizora or something. I mean, so the general gist of this show that we all agreed upon
Is
was
that
that
girl be
it's a
scamming?
90s anime or like early 2000s what do you call it? Sort
It's an
of
early 2000s rom-com in a 2020
rom-com.
body.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't necessarily we don't know if it has we only watched the first episode. Don't know if it's got a larger cast, but because he gets married to this girl in the very
in the
first
first
episode, I
episode.
assume that there's not going to be too much of an enlarged harem cast, but I could be wrong because it's anime. Yeah, you can always make room for more harem. However, that being said, it falls into every 20 or every early 2000s rom-com trope.
I just want to point
Sorry.
out that literally when they went to go get legally married, the guy officiating points out that she's underage.
I mean, so is the guy, isn't he?
Yeah, they're both technically not of the
They're like
age of
17 or
majority.
18 or something. So,
16 or 17,
yeah.
I think they are.
Oh my god.
Although the implication is that she is old AF, and
I feel
also
like they implied that she was older than him,
yeah,
but I don't know for
and
certain.
that she is she's got mischief in some way. Like because like the premise. Sorry, we didn't really clear the premise. The premise is this kid, this boy, this
This
high
NASA.
school kid basically fails to get into college, and then uh, along the way home he sees a cute girl and across the street, and he's so attracted to her that he starts crossing the street without looking, and he almost gets hit by a truck, but really the girl gets hit by a truck, but she doesn't die for
Time to
some
correct
reason.
you, though.
But then
He didn't.
but he still
He
got
didn't do
hit.
this
He still got
because
hit
he
because he broke
failed
his
to get
legs.
into college. He failed to get into college because of his injuries from getting hit by the truck.
Oh, sorry, the other way around. Yeah,
so
and he breaks
he was
both his
just like
legs.
he was like, boner, guide me, and then
Sort
he
of,
didn't
yes.
look both ways before crossing the street. And then girl tried to
Uh-huh.
save him, from
He
from
didn't
Truck
break
Kun.
both legs. He went running after her when he realized that she was gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's. I would say that
they were
okay. The
playing
problem
fast
is
and
that
loose with his injuries.
we keep on saying that it's like reminiscent of a lot of early 2000s anime. It's reminiscent of all the worst parts of an early 2000 animes, except
Yes.
he gets the girl. That's like literally the only redeeming
You know
part.
what? You're
And
right.
that's not really all that redeeming, honestly.
The animation is subpar. The music
The
is
animation looks
subpar.
just like it came right out of like the early
Everything is
2000s.
basically subpar.
They updated the color palette ever so slightly to contain gradients. That's really about it.
Yeah, it's it's not something I would want to keep
No,
watching.
no. Way too much cringe for me to put more time into this. One episode was enough.
Yeah,
Hard pass.
If you literally have nothing but free time to do right now,
find something better
maybe
to
it's
do.
worth spending the 20 minutes you would watch this with to find something better to do.
Yeah.
Go simp a VTuber or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Simping's a
Be
full-time
just be
job
a
now.
regular 2020 simp and find a girl you can't get. Not like this man who does marry the girl of his dreams, but it's just kind of stupid and sad.
Kami-sama ni natahi!
Is the fourth show we watched. At the beginning, there is some funny stuff, including more nameplay that we were immediately already tired of because
Because of the previous show.
It tired us right out.
Oh
yeah,
man.
but it was at least a little bit more witty, and it didn't continue on that path. It was just a bit within the sort of character thing. But this is about a girl who proclaims that she is God, and she meets this boy who's like, okay, whatever, you're just some tiny lolly.
She looks like she's 8. She sounds
Yeah,
like she's 8.
do I need to take you home and you need to get home safe? Says the high school boy, and she's like, sure, but don't forget that I'm God. And along the way, she sort of proves, uh, not exactly
Some
in the best way, but like
no.
with some pretty good prognostication that she could be God.
I already called her out once for being like, "Why did you even ask that? If you're actually omniscient, you would have known the answer."
Because the real answer for that is not because whether she's God or not. It's because if you write them as all knowing all the time, it's a really like it's a tiring character. Like you
Exactly.
don't want to be like they'll be like, oh, of course I knew, and why did you even ask? And you're so dumb. Because you're just a mortal who doesn't know anything, but I know everything. Like it's not a fun character. Like that's not the actual case, but I'm just saying that if she was written to be so omniscient, it would have been just the worst thing.
No, I don't think so. You can write a character who's omniscient who treats it differently. You don't have to say things all the time. You don't have to be overbearing and cocky about it. You can just know things and not say anything, which I would assume that an all-knowing god would certainly become over time. They'd get tired of the fact that humans don't know things and they're just happy to retire and watch them go about their little lives or something.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, gods are like us trying. Gods speaking to us are basically like us trying to help our parents log into Facebook.
Oh, don't even remind me.
I don't have to worry about that, so I'm good.
Anyway,
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but the other part of the premise is that the world is ending in 30 days.
Like,
yes.
I like this show enough to watch a few more episodes, and then I forgot that it existed after episode 4. But I'm gonna go back and watch the rest of it. I'm gonna keep going.
I'm actually into the premise. Like I don't love necessarily the characters because we were talking about this as well. It's
It's
like
also a key
it's
anime.
animated by Key. It's Kyoto animated. It's nice, but it's also very generic. There's gonna be some sad twists somewhere in the middle to the
Yeah,
end.
there's gonna be some sad
Probably.
stuff going
Like
on.
it's gonna
I'm
you're gonna
sure.
get clan added or you're gonna get uh just that kind of that's just it's their thing. It's
I
like
am here for the tears.
it's like M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong that like you're gonna get a twist and the twist is always sadness with Kyoto. But I'm actually down for it because I do like the idea. I'm cool with the premise. I just don't. I hope that the characters don't get too like tiresome somehow. Like oh you have to
Trust
prove
me,
that you're
Odin
God or this or
absolutely gets
something.
pretty tiring after a few episodes.
Oh,
I
probably.
bet she would.
I mean, at the end of the day, her characterization is a little girl, so it's sort of like I'm not really into that,
Like,
but
Nah.
By episode 4, I can't remember which episode it was. There was like a ramen making episode,
Ooh.
and basically she just showed up at the start to tell main boy to go do the thing, and
Mm-hmm.
then he went and did the thing and made a complete ass of himself, and it was hilarious. And then she showed up at the end to be like, "Yeah, this is exactly as I expected it to play out." And then everybody had a laugh, and it worked out, and then whatever, because the world is ending in like 15 days from that point.
So does it ever get more depressing after that point? Is there like
I
a
mean,
turning
maybe
point in
that I've only
mood?
watched up to episode 4,
Huh.
and the depression has not been turned on yet.
Hmm. I'm actually quite surprised. You'd think that world ending in 30 days is pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like all things considered, it's basically like the first 4 episodes are them trying to really make the viewer believe that this little girl is actually Odin. But
I feel like they've spent too much time on that premise already. It's clear she's omniscient to
yeah,
some degree. Don't care what the limitations are, but I think they've proven their point in episode 1.
they really did.
Yeah, but it's how shows are in general. They have to beat the idea in, because if they don't sort of like, it's not that you don't understand, but if they don't sort of berate the point at some, like, then you at some point you sort of don't suspend your sense of disbelief, and you're always going to be cynical, but they try to beat that idea that whether she's right or wrong in the end, but you have to believe that she's right, so you have to you have to believe her, so she has to keep on proving herself and keep on mentioning this thing. But anyways, I still like the premise. I'll probably watch a few more episodes just to see where it goes. The last one on the fall list was Iwa Kakeru, which
Iway
is
Cake Roo.
Iwa
No.
Kakeru,
No.
the climbingu show, which was, according to Nancy, a lot of fan service. To Angelo and I, we're like, it's not real fan service.
It's some fan service. Like, it wasn't nearly as stylized and in your face as I've seen in many other shows, but
Yeah.
there's still some. And a
So
lot of it is angles, seeing,
exactly.
body parts swished up against a wall.
It's yeah,
Some
yeah.
of them are
It's
just, yeah. But
yeah.
it's not like a blatant panty shot or anything like that.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a badminton anime that was literally like TNA shots with the occasional racket swing.
Right. This
It
is
is not
literally
that.
a
It
climbing
is not
anime.
that.
Yeah.
Like
Where
almost
they're
all the
like,
fan
because there's
service.
gonna be, I'm gonna just say that there's awkward positioning and camera angles
Exactly.
on the wall. You could argue that there are better ones, but at the same time, I think at some point they all look a little bit awkward, and if they don't look awkward, they just look strange. Like watching it side on would be sort of weird. So inevitably you're gonna get weird angles where you look from like under or like over top, and like,
Yeah,
I don't
but
really like it either way, but it's not the same thing as being egregiously fan service. It's sort of
it's
just
not
like
egregious. It's
it's just
utilitarian
there.
fan service.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
I think that's what we said while we were watching.
yeah,
It is fan service not for the sake of fan service, but because the scene actually demands it.
sort of. As
But I
weird as that
also
sounds, you'd
argue
have to go
that
watch it.
a lot of those poses could have been drawn from many other points of view. It didn't have to be from there.
I mean, it could have featured men instead of women.
Yeah,
Like
it could have, but they didn't.
I don't know.
Anyway, so my other point is that for a sport anime, they didn't animate a lot of action. They were
Yeah, no, the
largely
animation
using
sucked.
stills, and I was very confused.
Yeah, the animation is less than
Like
quality.
at the end of the episode, there was like a big climb off where one girl was climbing against
It
the
was
other
not
girl,
really exciting.
and they basically just made it a slideshow.
Yeah. I honestly, I want to move on from it because it wasn't that interesting. I don't see how anyone could find it interesting. I'm like, even though I'm not a sports anime person,
At the
I
very
don't think
least,
it's just
it's
a
better
good
than
show in
Tony
general.
Terribly
Kawhi.
compelling.
I just don't see how it's a good show. So,
I don't watch
yeah.
sports anime, and this isn't convincing me otherwise.
And this is a
Yep.
really petty thing for me to point out, but some of the faces were really annoying for
Derpy?
me. They were
Yes.
just like they were
were
imbalanced.
inconsistent.
The eyes were inconsistent. Like it just seemed
Yeah.
like it was
Some
a step
faces
back
were
into the
literally
early 2000s again.
Yeah, some character faces were much better than others.
Yeah. some were.
And then there was the thing that I pointed out which was so it's like because it takes place in a high school, it's like a high school
Club.
wall climbing club, and I was like, the club members, there's four of them, and they're ranked by bus size.
It's true.
Wait, they did
The
do that, didn't they?
Yes,
Yep,
they
because the
did.
captain has the
Captain has
largest
the
bust,
biggest.
and we have to assume that she is the best at the climbing, while the mid tier person that the newbie sort of challenged up against was of a mid tier range within the club. But then I was like, well, let me show you, let me tell you this, that this newbie that we are the pro tag that we are following here, she actually has the second biggest bust size, implying that she's not quite literally at the captain's level, but even as a newbie, she has that much potential.
Hmm. Anyway, my point is that for a first episode, this wasn't terribly compelling or like nicely animated. At least Hypnosis Mike was like, "Okay, guys, first episode, let's go all out. Everything's flashy." This
Mhm.
one was
Mhm.
like, very underwhelming.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think that's it. Let's wrap up that fall series. Crunch, crunch, crunch,
So
and
let's talk
away
about
she
the
goes.
stuff starting in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of these animes, of course, there are the descriptions as usual, all from AniChart, so they might not be the best, but they're there. This season, I couldn't find any really good music or sports entry. Actually, no, there's one sports
There are
entry.
so many sequels this
There's
upcoming
so many
season.
sequels
Oh
this
dear.
season. You're right.
So many.
And yeah, all of this stuff starts in the first/second week of January. So when that time gets around, we'll probably start watching some things as well to get a real better grip on them. But away we go. Who wants to start?
I'll go.
Okay.
So first up, we've got Kai Bue Ramune, or Dr. Ramune, Mysterious Disease Specialist.
Oh,
That's
I know
too
where
By
this
soon.
is
Platinum
going.
Vision, psychological or supernatural genre. As long as hearts exist inside people, there
Gasp.
will always be those who suffer.
Oh,
No.
And
sad.
then something strange enters their mind and causes a strange disease to manifest itself in the body. The illness, which is called a mystery disease, is unknown to most, but certainly exists.
Wow.
There is a doctor, an apprentice, who fights the disease, which modern medicine cannot cure. His name is Ramune. He acts freely all the time, is foul mouthed, and doesn't even look like a
It's
doctor.
House.
However, once he is confronted with the mysterious disease, he is able to quickly uncover the root cause of his patients' deep-seated distress and cure them. And beyond that, dot dot dot.
It's
So it's
House the
House but
anime.
supernatural.
It's House the
So
anime with supernatural. Like, so we, as always, I know you can't see it right off the bat, but we do have like a preview image sort of that comes stock with the description. There's, it just sort of looks like some generic characters. There's like a shrine, and some weird purple-haired girl. But the weirdest thing about it is that I'm assuming the guy in the front's the doctor or the girl.
yes,
I can't tell. But it takes like the background is of like a shrine. So there
yes.
is that's I guess there's a supernatural part of it. Maybe it's sort of like exorcism bits and pieces.
What do you
I
want to
think
bet the
this could be interesting.
mystery disease is demons, and they have to be
Something
uh
certainly involving Kami.
what do you call it?
Exorcised? Yeah.
Exorcised.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I would probably watch it
I
just
watched
off of
the I watched the trailer and it was shiny.
yeah.
It looked decent.
I like supernatural stuff. I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Like it
I don't
seems
know.
fine. It seems fine. I'll watch the first episode.
The premise sounds interesting enough.
But also, his
Ramune.
name is literally that bubbly drink that we all like.
Lemonade.
Yes, I love Ramune.
Yes.
Ramen is so good.
It's my
So
name is
good.
Ramune, but it's written as lemonade, but it's pronounced Ramune.
Please, no.
I
It's the truth.
I will die.
If someone explains their name
I'll
to me
die.
one more time, swear to goodness.
Your name is Nancy, but it's
My name
spelled
is
Nancy.
Angelo, but it's spelled like angel, but with an O at the end, and so it's pronounced Angelo.
Ooh, not Angelo.
Some of us call you Angebro. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who that would be.
Mhm.
Disgusting.
Next up, we've got SK8 The Infinity by Studio Bones. Ooh, I love them. It is a sports anime. Reki, a high school sophomore and skater, is addicted to S, A highly
Drugs.
secret and dangerous downhill skateboarding race that takes place in an abandoned mine. An
Of
abandoned
course.
mine? Of course. The skaters are especially wild about the beefs or heated battles that erupt in the races. Reki
Yeah.
takes Langa, a transfer student returning to Japan after studying abroad, to the mine where the races are held. Langa, who has no skateboarding experience, finds himself pulled into the world of S. It does
So
sound like a drug. Oh my goodness.
It's a
when I
drug.
read this earlier, I was
Uh-huh.
like, that is the dumbest premise I have ever heard. There's no way in hell I'm gonna watch this, and I realized, wait, it's by Studio Bones.
It's by Studio
Yeah.
Bones. I would
Worst
watch
case
it just for
scenario
that.
is that the story is trash because it's
Mm-hmm.
going
Yeah.
to look like fantastic. It's gonna be a trip to watch. And then I
Right?
watched the trailer.
Uh-huh.
Jesus, I had two thoughts. Jesus
Two
Christ,
whole
this is
thoughts?
beautiful. Is this BL?
Again with this
Maybe.
BL train.
Again, I'm so convinced this is BL, except I don't think Bones would make a BL anime.
You can't tell
Hmm.
much from the art. It's just like characters on skateboards, and it's a pretty generic background. Nothing particularly special about any of the sort of still images of the art. Um, the sentence that really sticks out to me about from the description is still the skaters are especially wild about the
The
quote
beefs.
unquote
I know.
beefs.
The beefs.
And I'm
like
like,
the beefs. Really?
you mean like Wagyu? You
I
mean
know.
like Alberta?
Are we
You mean
talking,
Angus?
like-
They like the beef.
Big
Where's
beef?
the beef?
Where's the beef? And
Grade-
I know where the
grade
beef is.
triple
It's in
A.
an abandoned mine.
Yeah. Like, of course, it's in an abandoned mine.
There's a ranch in that mine filled with beefs.
Having actually finished reading the description, I now realize that the title is actually Skate the Infinity.
Yes.
But they used an infinity symbol there?
Well,
It's
they-
SK
SK
Infinity.
SK Infinity, and then
or
it's
Skate the
SK8.
Infinity.
Yeah.
Don't
I don't know.
expect Japanese people to know what they're doing with English letters. They're trying their best. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
I-
Greek
I'm-
letters.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I'm in Angelo's boat where I probably wouldn't watch the show for the show, but this
I'd
is
watch
my
it for
like
the
I
animation.
like skateboarding. I like sports in general. I don't really like sports anime, but I do like skateboarding. It's an whenever I try to choose a sports anime for these, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but I try to choose something that's not um so basic. I guess over like in terms of what the sport is, like if someone gives me a cricket and a sports anime, we're probably gonna preview that instead of the third bike or volleyball or basketball sort of
Rollerblading.
like yeah, I want to choose something that's at least the sports unique. I think I would watch this just because it is Bones, and I think the animation could be amazing in the same way that I love when musical animes have amazing art when they're playing the instruments. I kind of want to see amazing art
Mhm.
when they're skating. That would be
Mhm.
amazing. But aside from that, I'm not really sure if I would
There's
stick
also
with
a
this
guy
show.
in clown makeup who's voiced by All Might.
What?
Yeah.
Of course, of course. That's anime for you. You need range as a voice actor. You could be All Might or a clown on a skateboard. That's my credits. You too could work up to where I am one day.
So
Anyway,
let's keep going.
yeah. All right. So our third show is X Arm by Visual Flight. It's action, etchy, and science fiction. In the distant year of 2014. Wait. All right. In the year 2014, a high school student who hates machines, Akira Natsume, wants to change himself for the better and tries to take the first step in doing that. But then he gets run over by a truck.
Another one has fallen to
Fast
truck food.
forward to 2030, the distant world of 2030. A police officer named Minami Uizono and her partner, the android Alma, infiltrate the scene of a trade going on at Tokyo Harbor for an unknown weapon named X-Arm. They are then attacked by an enemy armed with the X-Arm number 8. Put in this life or death situation. Life or life situation. They decide to activate the X-Arm number 00 that they stole from the enemy. And ...
Okay, so I can tell you right away there are going to be like a series of episodes dedicated to X Arms number 1 through 7.
Maybe.
Well, I just mean like it's probably going to be X-Arm 00, who is actually Akira Natsume, who is going to be fighting all the other X-Arms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure where the ecchi comes into play. I'm sure it's just maybe has some weirdly gratuitous fan service. The art on the side looks really good. I think
man,
like it's got
I
some
was
potential
so
because
into
it's
this
got
until
that.
I watched the trailer.
I didn't watch the trailer. What did you think of the trailer?
Uh, okay, so this description is totally my jam. I love bullshit like this.
Yes,
I
it
laughed my ass
sounds.
off when
And again,
within
the
the
side art
first
looks really
sentence,
good.
Truck Kun took out the main character. I was like, I'm here already. I'm signed up.
This
And then I
man is
watched the
dead.
trailer, and it's basically the same graphics as like the first season of Ruby, except all the fight choreography looks slow and floaty.
Oh
There's a character who looks like
no.
Briarios from Appleseed on top of the body of Megabyte from Reboot.
Okay, I love Appleseed, so
I
don't.
mean, Briarios'
Be
face is
careful.
kind of generic. He's just a
I'll
rabbit
punch you.
robot head, and on top of
I'll punch
Megabyte's
you.
body, it's just like
I guess.
And then there's some girl like the
All
silver-haired
right.
girl in the main art, and she's basically in like a one-piece leotard, so her ass is
She's
hanging out. I
probably
don't
the
even know
police
who this
officer,
character is
eh?
supposed to be, but it's like
Or maybe
I've
she's
seen better
Alma. She's
graphics on
oh, she's
PS2,
totally
and I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
it could be good. Maybe the story is just that good that it can get away with Ruby like graphics, but I'm not I'm not holding out hope.
You don't want to submit yourself to the graphics alone. Got it.
Hmm.
I'm really sad to hear that actually because just the side art and the premise sort of has me interested. I'm sort of a sucker for not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but like a little bit of that cyberpunk feel. Shout out to Cyberpunk 2077. Next week, I'm gonna lose my life to that. I'm just
Maybe you
gonna
will.
be playing some games. Don't worry, don't mind
Maybe
me.
you will next year.
Anyway, so you, I'll punch you. I punch you. I punch you with an X arm.
Oh no, the
Number 8.
polygons are sharp.
Um,
Oh no.
yeah. I I would almost maybe if there was a manga maybe seek that out. That could be interesting. It could save you from the animation style.
I might try it. I might look past the animation and be like, you know what? I've seen full CG uh, garbage looking things before that actually kind of hooked me for a while. I'll give it a try, but I'm not holding out hope.
Mhm. Nancy, would you watch?
I'd at least watch the first episode and see how it goes.
Mhm.
Although I feel like this description already gave away the entirety of the first episode, so now I don't know.
I
But
mean that's fine, but it still depends on how it's executed, right?
yeah, that's true. If what
Mhm.
Angelo said about the animation is true, that's going to be an interesting ride.
Yeah.
I feel like the older I get, the pickier I get about animation. Because like, let's be fair, every like animation is being improved upon every year, and
On the
it's
regular.
really hard to go back and have the same expectations you had when that old thing came out, and it was mind blowing for its time.
Lord of the Rings was mind
Mhm.
blowing, and looking back at it, you can see when they used CG.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody remember the Scorpion
But
King?
oh my fucking Scorpion King is different because it was actual garbage at the time.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought that looked good.
Well, everyone thought going in it was gonna be amazing, and then we
Yeah.
were all disappointed.
Everything in that movie was great up until the Scorpion King showed up.
Yeah, and they had someone like Dwayne Johnson and they didn't
Yeah.
make full use of him. I don't understand
They
it.
just put his fucking head on a giant CG scorpion and it was so horrible.
That's
Ugh.
not anime. That's not
It could
anime
be
at
anime.
all.
Urasakai Picnic. Otherworld Picnic by Leiden Films and Phoenix Film. Adventure, fantasy, mystery, sci-fi.
Good so far.
Her first encounter with Toriko Nishina was on the other side after seeing that thing and nearly dying. Ever since that day, exhausted university student Sorawo Kamikoshi's life changed. In this other world, full of mystery, which exists alongside our own, dangerous beings like the Kunikune and Hashaku-sama that are spoken of in real ghost stories appear. For research, for profit, and to find an important person, Toriko and Sorawo set foot into the abnormal.
Interesting. So it sounds like they did the like first step adventure, abnormal, paranormal things happening, and then second step question mark, question mark, question mark, which is where the anime series comes in, and then the last step is profit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where the
I'm watching
question
this.
mark goes.
I'm
gonna watch
actually
this.
into
Yeah, I'd watch
this.
it. I'd watch this.
I watched the trailer, and like it was gorgeous. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. The art's pretty generic. It's a girl holding another girl, and one girl has a gun. It's like not when I say holding, I wouldn't say necessarily romantically. It's more like a protective kind of thing. But there could be a romance undertones. I don't know.
I
I
am
don't
all
really
for
care right
strong
now.
female
I do
characters.
like the idea that it's
Yeah.
mystery sci-fi, and there is like they mention Hashaku-sama, which is like a creepy pasta of like it's a Japanese ghost story. I don't know what a kune kune is. I did a quick search, and all it returned was New Zealand pigs, and I'm like,
Oh.
okay.
Dangerous
chow down.
beings like New
I
Zealand pigs.
no. It's not. They're real animals. It's a kune kune domestic pig breed. The kune kune from Wikipedia is a small breed of domestic pig from New Zealand.
Dangerous beings like small domesticated pigs from New Zealand. Let's see what happens. I would watch this.
Like 30 to 50 wild feral hogs.
So like
bursting
I
into
actually I watched the
your
trailer
backyard.
before I even read the description, and at first I was like, "Wait, this looks great. Is this Shaft?" And then I was like, "Wait a minute. There's like some evil monster things over there. Is this girl gonna turn into a Maho Shoujo? Is this a Maho Shoujo anime? Do I have to tune out already?" And no, they never turned
She's
into
got
a
a
Maho
gun.
Shoujo.
The magic is the
Blonde girl
gun.
pulled out a gun, and I was like, "Yeah, this is great. This is like what happened if you were in Maho Shoujo territory, but all you had was gun."
I want to know where the fantasy bit comes in.
Like
I mean, I think
I'm
it's still
signed
the
up for
same boat as like
I'm signed up
horror.
for it.
Yeah,
I'm watching
I'm-
this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that one. And I'm happy I could find some interesting shows. We've got one last show if you want. Nancy, take it away.
Tenshi Sozo Design Boo, which is Heaven's Design Team by Asahi Production. It's a music anime. And
No, it's not a music anime. I screwed that up.
It is a comedy
You screwed
anime.
up.
Gasp.
Gasp. It is a
Yeah.
comedy? Okay. In Heaven's Animal Design Department, designers create a variety of new animals. Speaking of animals, that was a good one. Daily, while contending with the unreasonable requests of their client, God. Funny, interesting, and full of useful information, this series answers questions such as why can't unicorns exist? And what makes an animal taste delicious? To what's the most powerful creature in the ocean? As well as birds versus snake, who would win? You won't believe it's a manga series when you read up on the featured animals and the
anime.
included encyclopedia entries. Heaven's design team will make your next trip to the zoo or aquarium 100 times more fun. This sounds adorable. I would totally watch it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I think it has like the same feel as was it Katakura, like the Cells at Work.
Hataraku
Yeah.
Seibo.
You know how
Cells at
like
Work.
there's like something fun and they have like storylines, but they're also teaching you about like the science of the body. I think this is like teaching you the
It's
science of
edutainment.
I don't
animals,
think that's
of
what they're going to teach
zoology,
you.
Yeah, it's
and
edutainment.
it's still fun.
I think they're going to teach you office politics and how to deal with stupid customers. I wanted to know specifically, Nancy, what your thoughts on this are going to be, because it literally seems like project management with God and animals instead of customers and code.
Yep, that's exactly how I read this.
From what I gather, the entirety of the comedy is trying to manage the expectations of needy customers, of clients with unrealistic explanations or expectations, being like, wait, hold on, you want like a duck animal, okay, that sounds good, but wait, 4 legs. Well, ducks normally have 2 legs. Like, does it need to fly? Does it need to... No, it doesn't need to fly. Oh, it needs to swim. Okay, I think we can take the 4-leg thing. I don't think it needs wings. Wait, you want to use that? as a base? You want to use those other four-legged animals as a base? You don't want to use the things with the duckbill already? That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. But okay, maybe we can make eggs though. What? You eggs? Eggs? You want it to lay eggs? Venom? You want a mammal with a duck face and four legs and venom? What the fuck? What are you asking for here?
You forgot the beaver tail.
And then
Yeah,
the
beaver
whole
tail.
comedy is how they fucking implement this bullshit.
Have you ever seen? I guess it's an old skit by today's standards, but it's called The Expert, and it is a client comes in requesting 4 red
Oh
lines,
my god, yes.
all of which must be perpendicular to each other, and we want 2 of them to be green,
Yes.
but they're still red lines. We just want 2 of them
Oh
to be
my
green,
fucking god.
and one of them to be transparent.
Yep.
This is exactly what I think it is, but in anime form regarding, like, mushing together body parts of animals to explain their design and dealing with an unreasonable
Yes.
client. This will be funny.
I think it's just generally explaining animals, and I think it's much more like elementary level educational or like wholesome sort of like Cells at Work is, and I'd be okay with that.
It's comedy. I could use some comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I'm,
I
something
like
I'm
it.
here
lighthearted.
for it.
I will watch this. Yep, I
Yeah.
will watch this.
Awesome. That sort of concludes the 2020 winter seasonal stuff. There's a lot of sequels.
Jesus
Don't at
Christ,
me
there's
about the sequels. I know
there's
Attack on
Attack on Titan
Titan's ending. I
sequel,
know a bunch
there's
of other
Cells at
stuff is
Work
going.
sequel, there's Promised Neverland sequel, there's Tax Evasion Horizon sequel.
Don't at me. Trying to talk about original characters and do not steal them. Trying to talk about original
Oh, I
content
know.
up here, okay?
I
So no
know.
reposts.
Literally half
So
the
that's
upcoming
what we
season
got.
is sequels though. It's crazy.
I do have one sequel question for you, though.
Okay.
What happened to Pizzagate?
Oh.
Where's our sequel on
Oh,
Pizzagate?
okay. We can finally wrap up, and we shouldn't call
Wrap
this
it up.
Pizzagate because that is something very specific, and we can't call it that.
Sorry, I shouldn't call it Pizzagate, but it is the local
So-
Pizzagate, I guess.
So the thrilling finale to the saga of the bootleg Chicago deep dish. Okay. So earlier this week, we decided that it was Dio's turn to order dinner, and so her, being just as curious as I was about what was actually going on, she ordered Chicago deep dish from the correct phone number and
Mhm.
everything,
Yep.
and it was the same price.
As did I.
And
in the meantime,
she got the
between
Mr. Universe
episodes.
pizza, just like your
Ooh.
generic
Yeah.
full deluxe, like loaded
What
pizza.
did I get?
And it was a difference of night and day from the bootleg Chicago deep dish. Like, had I never tasted this pizza before, I would have been like, yeah, why the hell are these other guys just rolling with the
Sorry, which one did you get?
Mr. Universe.
You got Mr. Universe. I got a Pretty Lady,
Okay.
Ooh.
which is pepperoni, mushrooms, back bacon, beef, green peppers, olives, and onions. And a Mr. Universe is pepperoni, salami, mushrooms, beef, ham, back bacon, onions, green peppers, and tomatoes.
Yes.
Yum. Both
And
sound
so-
good.
If I had to compare the two, where
Mhm.
the real Chicago deep dish was a head and shoulders above the competition. Like, if you compare, just let's start with the crust. The bootleg stuff, it's very crust heavy to toppings. Like the topping to crust
Mhm.
ratio severely favors the crust. Whereas I found with the Chicago deep dish, it was pretty close to a 50-50 topping to
It's balanced. It's very balanced.
to bread ratio.
Damn.
Now on top
And
of that,
I wouldn't have.
oh, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I was gonna say. I don't think it was greasy or anything either. Like it wasn't. It wasn't too heavy or sort of like wet. Like obviously, Chicago deep dish is like a wetter, heavier pizza.
Yes.
But it wasn't what I would call a mess. I wouldn't call it unbalanced in a way. Like and again, just to be clear, this was not true Chicago casserole.
Yeah, this isn't like
but it
Chicago
was
deep dish. This is like the
Yeah.
Calgary Chicago deep dish
version
pizza
of that.
chain.
But it was still like very good. And I live literally in between a legit place and the non-legit place, so I have had both. and it is definitely, you're right. Like it's night and day difference. The
The
sauce is so much
sauce is
better
so much better.
for
The
one thing.
sauce actually has seasonings in it. The sauce has flavor. The sauce actually brings
Flavor.
things to the table instead of just being something that's there because it's something you have on pizza.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
just red and on bread.
Yeah, it's not just red on bread. It is something that you're actually enjoying it being there. Uh, the
Hmm.
Mm.
the quality of the toppings themselves, like the pepperoni, the salami, the different vegetable toppings, they were all very good, and the synergy between each other the toppings with the crust or with the sauce, I mean, they actually played off of each other.
Instead of just being like separate pieces that happen to belong on the same crust.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Like they
Mm.
came together to create a cohesive whole instead of just
Hmm.
a pizza with what pizzas have. Uh, the only complaint that I could have against like the legit to shit Chicago deep dish was that the it's a square pizza and the slices are square. So like you have the slices in the middle, the square slices in the middle without a crust,
Hmm.
and those ones, just because of the nature of the pizza, they do get a little bit wet and soggy. They do not have the structural integrity that the
It's WAP.
crust
It's wet ass
sides
pizza.
have. It is a whap whap whap. That's some wet ass pizza.
Damn.
Uh,
Yeah, but it is good.
but
I
it's
don't like.
it's it's good.
I assume that you guys ordered a medium, maybe a
We got
large.
a
A large
large
would be mind
because our
blowing.
kitchen is basically out of commission right now, and so we needed something
That's
that
Still.
would
true.
last a few meals.
Leftovers and stuff. I just got a small, and it was 2 meals worth. Like it is a hearty beast of za. I'm very happy I got it. It's definitely a little bit like on the more expensive stuff, but you're getting a better quality pizza. Just like if I go to like
That's the thing. I found it to be the
any of
same
the
price as
Neapolitan
the bootleg.
styles over here, they're all good. So the bootleg is like I don't even know how it survives, because considering they almost charge a very similar price, if not the exact same price. I don't know how they really survive, other than surviving on stealing
The
the
marketing budget. Well,
original
like
advertising and marketing
from my
campaign.
Mm-hmm.
perspective, the thing about the bootleg stuff is I don't actually find it that expensive as far as pizza goes,
So
uh,
for the same
because you
price,
get a large quantity of food. I thought it was like, yeah, you're
Right,
paying money because it's a large quantity. That is what you're paying for. And it's
nope.
pizza and
right.
it's like
But you didn't
thick.
know it
And
was
no, I didn't
quality.
Yeah.
realize there was a quality option. I didn't realize you could get the
Yes. Oh,
quantity and the quality.
the
For
I
the
didn't
the
same
know
crust.
price.
for the
Yeah,
same
the
price.
crust in the pizza pan, the square pizza pan that they must be baking it in. They butter it. They must butter it or something, because it's got that nice golden
It's
sort of
so good.
nuttiness on on the bottom of that crust as it's being baked. It is primo.
So all I'm saying is that sponsor us Chicago Deep Dish because we just told everybody about the reality that they should be going straight to you and not to your goddamn imitators, and please sue them into the ground so we only get the good shit.
Yeah. I'm
We deserve the
quite
good shit. It's
sad
been
that this is even a
2020.
thing.
Yeah, it's 2020. We only deserve the good shit at this point.
Yes. None,
But yeah,
I'm glad to hear the conclusion of this saga was an excellent one.
uh,
are you
it's a
gonna get
happy
some,
Oh,
ending.
Nancy? Because
absolutely.
you haven't had any.
Absolutely. I live by so not a Chicago deep dish pizza place, but a Detroit inspired pizza place. And I also highly recommend their
Mm.
pizza.
Oh yeah,
It is similar but different. But
it will
yes,
be.
if I'm in the mood for Chicago deep dish, I will be going to the actual Chicago deep dish pizza, not
Hmm.
the weird imitators that apparently go all the way out to Cochrane.
So fun fact, uh, Detroit style pizza in Windsor, which is the Canadian side of the border, which is where I grew up, Windsor pizza are so incredibly different.
Oh,
And Calgary has one of each.
oh,
Sure.
We've got a Windsor pizza place and a Detroit pizza place. It's great.
The the pizza adventures continue,
yes.
but not on this episode,
Nope.
On
because we are
Probably not on the
almost
next
done
episode either.
here. No, or the episode after that, or the episode after that. But maybe one day we'll return. In the meantime, thank you for joining us on our anime preview and review and Pizzagate Part Z wrap up.
Not that
Uh,
Pizzagate though.
No, get your
oh,
head out
not
of the
that one.
gutter.
This one, not that one. This one.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
The
Don't mix it
saga
up.
of the
You know what we're
bootleg
talking about.
Chicago deep dish.
Yeah.
Bootleg gate.
Uh, I hope that satisfies your appetites for now. Until next time, we'll be around.
Have
Have a good
a
I'm BB.
night.
good one.